Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Comedy this hour, we start off with the-aldrich-family, an episode starring Bobby-Ellis as it was originally broadcast January 25th, 1953.
Henry Aldrich!
Coming, Mother.
Yes, it's the Aldrich-family is transcribed, written by Clifford Goldsmith. At 117 Elm Street in Centerville, there's a neat white house, like so many other houses in many other medium-sized American towns. It's the home of the Aldriches, an average family in most ways. The house is also the headquarters of a typical teenage boy by the name of Henry Aldrich. The scene opens in the living room. The time is early evening.
But why do you say that, dear?
Because, Mother, because I don't want to get mixed up with anybody.
But Henry, simply writing a letter to a girl doesn't mean you're in love with her.
Well, it could be taken that way, and I'm not even interested in her.
You're not even interested in whom, Henry?
In Doris Townsend, Father.
When'd you see her?
Well, I didn't see her. I had a letter, just an ordinary short letter from her. Mother thinks I ought to sit right down and answer it.
Henry, I think she ought to know the truth.
The truth about what?
About me getting married.
Getting what?
Married. That's what the letter's about, Father. She says, Dear Henry, we happened to read in the Centerville section of last night's Middletown paper that a Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich announced the engagement of their son. Is this you? If so, Mother says congratulations. Father says who's the lucky girl? Sincerely, Doris.
How did a thing like that get in the papers?
Well, it's a very simple mistake, Sam. The Alderdice boy over on Maple Street is getting married sometime next spring.
Oh.
And that's why I think Henry should take the time to write an explanation to Doris.
But, Mother, why don't we just put a denial in the paper? Then everybody will be satisfied.
Henry, I think your mother would like you to write a letter.
But, Father, I'm due at Eleanor Wentworth's right this minute. She's probably sitting over at her house now wondering why I'm not there. And here I am here.
But, Henry, by this time you could have had the letter written.
Not and explain things properly, Mother.
Henry, you're to write the letter tonight.
Tonight?
Now.
Now?
Sam, if Eleanor is waiting, I don't think it's quite as important as that.
But I thought you wanted him to write it.
I do, dear, but after all, why can't he be at home by 9:30 and write her a postcard before he goes to bed?
Sure, Mother, that's the very least I can do.
You will come home early.
Yes, Mother.
You don't think he ought to write it before he goes?
Dear, Henry has promised to be here by 9:30.
And gee whiz, Father, you know me. When I promise to do a thing, I break my neck doing it. How about it, Father? Father?
Do you really think so, Henry?
Oh, sure, Eleanor. You take any marriage. The average marriage, I mean. I think that when a person's... You know what I mean?
Go on, Henry.
Well, I think they ought to have a diversity of interests.
Ma, you thought a lot about this, haven't you?
Well, it's just common sense. Suppose a man marries a girl and all they both like is the same thing. Like take, gardening, for instance. I don't know why I take gardening, but some people do when they have one. No, I don't mean a little one. Naturally, it's a big one. Lots of acres, like a ranch. Did you know they raise cotton in Arizona?
Who does, the married people?
Well, both kinds, I guess. Why do you ask, Eleanor?
Well, I just wondered whether you know anyone out there. I know a boy that goes to school there.
In Arizona?
Yes. I had a letter from him just the day before yesterday.
Is that right?
Would you like to have me get it and read you some of it?
No, I don't believe I'd care to hear it.
Oh, I'm sure you'd be interested, Henry. He writes beautifully.
Well, the way I look at it, Eleanor, if a person gets the idea he has to go all the way to Arizona to go to school, I don't think they deserve to belong to any state. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Well, you take a school. Suppose you're not crazy about it. Isn't the fault of the government of the state, is it?
What isn't?
So there you are. Your father's a taxpayer, isn't he?
Yes, but Henry, what are you talking about? Oh, just a second while I answer the phone.
Have you ever tasted peppermint crunch ice cream?
No, I haven't. Why?
Well, they served it at the school cafeteria today. It was pretty good.
Hello?
Eleanor, this is Homer. Is Henry there?
Yes.
Well, tell him I've got to speak to him.
Henry!
Is that my mother?
It's Homer. He wants to speak to you.
Oh, gee whiz, I can't even go visiting without his bothering me. Hello? Now listen, Homer.
Henry, I'm in a terrible predicament.
What's the matter?
Well, I'm over at your house, and I want some help in our Latin assignment.
Oh, gee whiz, I don't have to be home until 9:30. And after that, I'm going to be very busy writing a postcard.
All right, Henry, all right. If you want to put Eleanor Wentworth in your correspondence ahead of my homework, all right.
You mean you're going back home again?
No, I'll wait.
Henry!
Homer, I got to hang up now. Goodbye.
I just ran upstairs to get some of Dick's letters.
Whose?
Dick's. You're so interested in Arizona, I thought you'd like me to read parts of them.
Did he write all the letters in that bundle?
Oh, my goodness, yes. Oh, here's one about Arizona's irrigation ditches.
To you?
Yes, it's very interesting. He says, "My dear Eleanor, did I see a ditch today? It began miles in back of me and came up to me and then went as far as the eye of man could reach. When one realizes that all of this was dug with human hands, it makes one proud to be a member of this human race of ours. That night I went dancing and I certainly wished you were there."
He danced in the ditch?
That was afterwards. And then he goes on to say...
What?
Oh, my goodness, I can't read you that.
Oh.
Here's one. "Well, well, Eleanor, here I am writing again." Oh, isn't he a scream, Henry? You'd certainly die if you ever met him.
Yeah, he's got a nice sense of humor.
"Your wonderful letter came this morning, and it reminded me of..." No, there's no sense in going into that. Now, let me see. "I have your picture on my..." No, that wouldn't interest you. Oh, here's something wonderful. "Yesterday, a crowd of us saw the Grand Canyon. Boy, is that a ditch."
Is he only interested in ditches?
He's interested in everything, Henry. I'd let you read this one yourself, only there are some rather personal things in it. And naturally...
Oh, sure. Is that clock on the mantel right?
Yes, I think so.
Gee whiz, I didn't realize it was nearly 8:35.
You mean you've got to be going?
I'll say I have.
Why so early?
Well, I got to help Homer with his Latin, and then I got to write a long letter to a girl.
Oh, well, I'm certainly glad you came over. Does she live very far away, Henry?
No, just in Middletown. But her family's thinking of moving to California. And then, of course, my letters will have to be longer.
Well, I'm awfully sorry you have to go, Henry.
Good night, Eleanor. And I just want to tell you how much I enjoyed hearing your correspondence. Wait a second, Homer, while I drop this postcard in the mailbox.
Gee whiz, it's a windy night, isn't it?
Let's walk back this way.
Did you ever notice, Henry, when you look up at the moon, it looks as though the clouds were standing still and the moon is what's moving?
So what?
What's the matter with you, Henry?
Nothing's the matter with me.
Well, why did you come home from Eleanor so early?
Gee whiz, you wanted me to help you with your Latin, didn't you? Boy, do you know how many she's gotten from him?
How many watts she's gotten from who?
And they're all about ditches.
Who?
As if I cared. Anybody would think that just because somebody you happen to know casually is going to a school where you aren't going to school, then gee whiz, he's pretty wonderful.
Listen, Henry, let me ask you something.
Who cares how deep the Grand Canyon is? Do you? I ask you.
I'm going home.
And not only that, Homer, Eleanor's been writing to this guy just as often as he's been writing to her.
Oh. Well, you know what you ought to do, Henry?
Why should I do anything? You talk as though it made a difference to me.
You ought to show it. Write a letter to some other girl and leave it lying around where Eleanor will see it. She'll eat right out of your hand, Henry. My own sister used to do it.
She did?
Sure, every week.
Did it get results?
Well, she's married, isn't she?
Married? She was just from that?
Well, you don't have to let it go that far if you don't want to.
Well, the only trouble is, I don't know of any other girl I want to write to.
Well, you don't have to. You aren't going to mail it. You're just going to write it and let Eleanor see it. See, how about this girl you just mailed a postcard to?
Doris Townsend? Gee whiz, Homer, I could hardly get up enough interest to even fill the card.
Well, I'll tell you what to say. I remember my sister's letters. Only when you write it, Henry, do it on your father's typewriter. Don't write it in your own handwriting.
Why not?
Because your handwriting isn't romantic enough. What you need is some blue paper and a typewriter with a red ribbon.
Have some toast, Alice?
No, thank you. Sam, I'm worried.
Worried?
Well, dear, I don't like to mention it, but this morning when I went in to make Henry's bed, I happened to see a letter he typed to Doris Townsend.
I thought he was just going to send her a postcard.
Well, so did I, Sam. I thought the whole thing was just this casual, ordinary bit of correspondence.
Well?
Sam, I shouldn't have looked at it, but I couldn't help noticing that the letter began, "My darling Doris."
What's that?
Well, that's what it said, Sam. I saw it with my own eyes.
What else did he say?
Oh, well, naturally, dear, I didn't read any more.
Why not?
Well, if you must know, I did read the first sentence. But that's all.
What did that say?
Your letters have been coming through regularly, and you will never know how they have changed my entire life.
You mean, what else did he say?
Dear, why did he insist last night that he didn't want to write to her?
That's obvious, Alice. He was trying to cover up.
Cover up what?
I don't know. What else did he say?
Do you see her, Homer?
Sure, Henry. She's sitting right there on the school steps. And your letter's right in front of her.
But what good will it do, Homer? You dropped my letter so darn far away from her.
I dropped it practically at her feet, Henry. Look, she's got it. She's picking it up. She's reading it.
She is?
Look the other way, Henry. Turn your back.
Is she still reading it?
I'll say.
Is she tearing her hair at all?
She's throwing it away.
Her hair?
The letter. Now she's picking it up again.
She is?
She's holding it less than 6 inches from her nose.
She is?
Now it's 5 inches.
Yeah? How close is it now?
3 feet. Boy, you should see the tears.
You mean she's crying?
She's laughing.
Now listen, Homer, she hasn't even picked up my letter yet. It's still there by her feet.
Well, what's that she's reading? It's a letter, Henry. It's a letter.
Can you see where it's from?
If it's from Arizona, don't let it get your goat, Henry.
But, Homer, she doesn't have to read his letters right here on the school grounds. Wouldn't you think she'd have some loyalty to our own school?
Look, Henry, she's standing up.
Oh, boy.
She's leaning over. Gee whiz, she's only tying her shoelace.
Is she blind? She's even stepping on my letter. Look, now she's going into the building.
Quick, Henry.
Why?
Your letter's blowing away.
Well, gee whiz, Homer, let's get the darn thing. Hurry up. Boy, look at it go. Where is she, Homer?
She's right there in the corridor talking to Gertrude Smith.
You think she saw you when you slipped my letter into her coat pocket?
She couldn't have. I was talking too fast.
Well, she certainly can't miss this one. And I think it's better than the letter that blew away this noon.
Look, Eleanor's walking away.
Just wait until she puts her hand in her pocket. All my troubles will be over. The only thing is, Homer.
What?
Isn't that my letter sticking out of Gertrude's pocket?
Where?
Listen, Homer, did you put that darn thing in the wrong pocket of the wrong coat?
I didn't know they were standing that close together. I saw a pocket and I dropped it in.
Well, we gotta get that letter away from Gertrude.
I can get it away from her, Henry. We'll just catch up with her, and as we pass, we'll both gently bump into her, and I'll grab.
Well, okay, Homer, but don't trip her.
Quiet, Henry. You want her to hear us?
You're not talking too loud, Homer.
Come on, Henry. We'll give her the brush off.
Well, gee whiz, hello, Gertrude.
Hi, Gertrude. Gee whiz.
Homer Brown, did you hurt yourself?
Homer, get up.
I'm awfully sorry if I turned like that. I'm going into the girls' coat room here.
Well, I know, Gertrude, but wait.
Henry, can't you even help me pick up my book?
Gertrude, wait. Wait.
Henry, don't follow her in there. You'll be expelled.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Do you have any pictures of Doris Townsend?
Of Doris Townsend? Gee whiz, why would I have a picture of her?
Well, I was simply wondering. After all, if I were a boy and knew a girl as nice as Doris Townsend, I think I'd want a picture of her. Wouldn't you, Sam?
Wouldn't I want?
Like a picture of Doris Townsend.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, I wouldn't. I just...
You just what?
I just don't think I like any girls.
Not any?
No, Father.
Good, that's fine. Didn't I hear you using my typewriter upstairs just a few minutes ago?
Yes, Father.
What was it you were typing, dear?
Well, it's just something I was doing over. I typed it night before last, and it blew away yesterday. Then I did another one last night, and that got into the wrong... It got lost today.
I see. A homework, dear?
Well, in a way, you might say it was homework.
I was talking with Eleanor Wentworth's mother today, and she says Eleanor's writing to some boy out in a school in Arizona.
She is?
So if I were you, I'd take a little more interest in Eleanor. She's a really darling girl.
Well, I'm not going to waste my time on her.
What's the matter with her?
Well, gee whiz, Father, I have other things to think about besides just Eleanor Wentworth. I've got a lot of other things in my mind.
Where are you going, dear?
Oh, just upstairs and do a little typing.
Sam.
Well?
Do you think we ought to come right out and forbid his writing any more letters to Doris Townsend?
Now, Alice, it's much better to be subtle about it.
Oh, I agree. We should be subtle. I think you should forbid his using your typewriter.
Alice, let's not force him to express his emotions in his own handwriting. The courts are difficult enough with even a typed letter.
Oh, Butch Welch.
What'll you have, Gertrude?
Butch, did you lose a letter?
No, why?
You didn't? You go around with a girl over in Middletown by the name of Doris Townsend, don't you?
Sure, I take her out practically every weekend.
Well, I don't know how it got there, but I found this letter addressed to her in my coat pocket, and I thought it was probably yours.
Well, let's see it. Now, listen, this isn't a joke, is it?
Oh, no.
My darling Doris. Say, what is this?
Who's it from, Butch? Who wrote it?
But getting back to Earth, I hope someday I can show you the Mississippi riverbed, which is 2,470 miles long, reaching at some points to a width of 4 miles.
Is Doris Townsend quite a swimmer?
Hey, listen, who wrote this? Just listen. Have you ever noticed on a moonlight night how the clouds seem to stand still and the moon zooms along at a breathtaking pace? That's how I think of you. Oh, so that's who wrote it.
Who?
You didn't read it?
Well, to be honest, I tried to, but it was so boring I couldn't.
Henry Aldrich wrote it.
Henry?
Doris Townsend doesn't belong to him. Just wait till I get a hold of him. He isn't going to live long.
We'll return to the Aldrich family in just a moment.
January 25th, 1953, the Aldrich family on Classic Radio Theater. Classic Radio Theater family, you know our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by just creating the best pillow. He created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, because, you know, I'm working like 67 hours a day. Now, Mike's offering the best deal on his Giza Dreams bed sheets ever. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. You'll never want to sleep on anything else once you slept on a set of Giza Dream sheets. A special offer for you right now. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. Call 1-800-928-4715. Use the promo code Wyatt. Or go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Wyatt. It's good on anything on the website. That number again, 1-800-928-4715. Use my promo code Wyatt. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. January 25th, 1953. Bobby-Ellis as Henry Aldrich in the Aldrich family.
Now, getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. In an attempt to make Eleanor Wentworth jealous, Henry has typed several letters to another girl and tried to leave them around where Eleanor could find them. So far, however, he's been totally unsuccessful and has lost all of the letters he's written. The scene opens in the typing room at Central High School.
Homer, have you any idea where the A would be on this typewriter?
Why can't you find it yourself?
Well, haven't you ever seen the typewriters in this classroom? The keys don't have any letters on them.
What good are they then?
Well, gee whiz.
Did you get an A?
It's a W. Homer, what word is there that begins with W that means the same thing?
As what?
As angel.
Well, why don't you just make it Winged Angel?
Wing it? My winged angel?
Sure.
W-I... Where do you think the I would be?
Well, it used to be right around here somewhere. Are you making plenty of carbon copies this time, Henry?
Sure. Now, look out. Oh, gee.
Did you get the I?
No, I got an H. Now what am I going to do? What begins with W-H?
Well, why don't you make it White Winged Angel?
Sure, that's very nice. The only trouble is, Homer, if we don't find the right letter this time, I'm really stuck.
Hello, Henry. What in the world are you doing in here?
Well, I'll tell you, Eleanor.
Are you taking typing?
No,
We're just seeing if we like it.
And we don't.
Do you want me to help you?
No, thanks just the same.
Oh, I'd really be glad to. What letter do you want?
I don't want any.
Yes, he does. He's looking for an I.
Homer, keep out of this.
An I? Here, I'll show you.
No. I like to be surprised when I hit a key.
It's right here.
No, please.
Hello, Sam.
Yes, Alice?
Sam, I'm sorry to call you away from the office, but I want you to come home right away.
What for?
Doris Townsend's mother is here.
What's on her mind?
Well, I can't tell you on the phone, dear, but the sooner you come home, the better. She's terribly unnerved and upset.
Yes, I'll come over right away, Alice. But remember this, no matter what she says, the girl is probably just as much to blame as Henry is.
Homer, are you sure Eleanor got the letter I wrote?
Oh, yes, Henry. I put it right in her lunchbox. Right on top of her lemon pie.
Are you sure she didn't tear it up or anything?
Well, why should she?
Yes, why should she indeed? From January 25th, 1953, the Aldrich Family here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these messages from your favorite radio station. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of the Aldrich Family, starring Bobby-Ellis, January 25th, 1953.
A letter written by you to another girl that you're calling a white winged angel?
Well, it's taken Dinah a week to finally get it to her.
All you have to do now, Henry, is go home. By Monday, Eleanor will be eating out of your hand.
By Monday?
Well, that's the way it worked with my sister.
Henry!
Oh, gee whiz. Hello, Eleanor.
Hello, Henry. I've been looking all over for you.
For me?
Hi, Eleanor. Gee, do you look worried?
Well, in a way, I am. I've got something here that I'm afraid belongs to Henry, and I'm quite sure he'd want it.
Something of mine?
Something of Henry?
Yes, and I haven't the slightest idea as to how I got it. It's this letter you wrote to somebody.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't read it, Henry. I know you probably think I did, but I give you my word I didn't do any more than just to look and see whose it was.
You didn't read it? Why not?
Homer, that's the last thing in the world Henry would want me to do. Well, goodbye, Henry. I'm awfully glad I happened to find you.
Oh, sure. And thanks very much for giving it back to me. That's a fine thing, Homer. That's a fine thing.
What's she got against reading somebody else's mail?
After all, if all she cares about is that fellow in Arizona, why should I... There are other girls besides Eleanor Wentworth.
Sure there are.
That's what I say. She isn't so wonderful.
Hi, fellas.
Hello, Willie.
Hi.
Miss Eggleston wanted me to give you your English papers.
You got mine?
Sure, here. Here, Henry. Boy, you better watch out if Butch ever sees you.
Why should I worry about him?
Well, didn't you write a mash note to his girl in Middletown?
Who, me?
Sure, to Doris Townsend. He found a couple of them. It's all over the school.
Butch knows Doris Townsend?
Why not? She's his steady, isn't she?
Is that right?
Gee, he's the biggest guy in the school, Henry.
Well, what business is it of his if Doris likes to hear from me?
Henry, how much did you get in your English?
How much? C+.
C+?
Listen, Homer, how did Miss Eggleston get this?
What is it?
It's one of my darn letters to Doris Townsend.
How did you happen to hand that in?
She says, interesting, but why didn't you stick to the original theme instead of dragging in the Mississippi?
Well, that's a fair enough criticism.
But the nerve of her, Homer. What right did she have reading this?
Henry, look out. Here comes Butch Welch.
Butch? Let's walk along.
Hey,
Homer.
Henry!
Let's walk a little faster.
Hey, Henry!
Hi, Butch.
Come here.
Write him a letter, Henry.
All right, Aldrich.
Now, listen, Butch. You let go of me.
What's the idea of trying to cut in on Doris Townsend?
Butch, I'm sorry. Hey, you're twisting my arm.
Yeah?
Butch, let go of Henry.
You go sit down, Homer.
You make me.
Yeah. Whoop.
Gee whiz. Now listen, Butch.
You gonna keep away from my girl? How do you like that?
Well, gee whiz.
Now write her a letter and tell her what I did to you.
You want me to help you up, Henry?
No, thanks. You want me to help you up?
Henry!
Is that you, Eleanor?
What happened to you?
We're looking for something down here.
Well, my goodness, Henry. Your folks just phoned the main office, and they said you're to come home right home the very minute school is out.
Well, I wonder what that could be about.
I don't see why you have to feel that way about it, Henry. After all, Butch is 3 times as big as you.
Did you brush the back of my coat off, Homer?
Sure. Your folks won't notice a thing.
Henry!
Yes, Mother, where are you?
I want you to come in the living room. Your father and I want to have a talk with you.
A talk with I, Mother?
Yes, Henry.
Has something gone wrong, Father?
How did you tear your coat pocket?
Oh, that's... Well, gee whiz.
Well, gee whiz.
Homer, dear, would you mind waiting out on the porch?
You want me to go?
Well, perhaps you'd like to go up to Henry's room until we're through.
Couldn't I wait out in the kitchen?
Homer, please go upstairs.
Yes, Mr. Aldrich, I'll wait up there.
Now then, Henry.
Yes, Father?
Your mother wants to have a talk with you.
Sam, I think you're the one who should.
Aren't you the one Doris Townsend's mother talked to?
Doris Townsend's mother?
Yes, dear, she's been here.
That would be putting it mildly.
What?
Henry, dear, Doris Townsend was never so upset in her life.
She's upset? She's upset?
Over the letters you've been writing her.
Well, how did she get those?
What do you mean, how did she get them? Haven't you been writing her?
Well, I've been... Oh, look, Father.
Have you been writing her?
Well, yes, sir, I've been writing her, but I haven't been mailing them.
What have you been doing with them?
I've been losing them.
Henry, let's try not to be evasive.
They were written to be read by someone, weren't they?
Yes, sir, but...
But what, dear?
Well, look, Mother, I know you won't believe it, but there are copies of my letter all over Central High School.
What do you mean by that?
Father, this English paper is a very good example of how you can't trust anybody.
You mean you failed in English?
No, I got a C+ for it.
Oh, let me see it, dear.
Now, Alice, don't let him evade the issue. We're not talking about his English. We're talking about his letters.
But, Sam, this composition is a letter.
To Doris Townsend?
Yes, dear. That's what Henry's been trying to tell us. He wrote those letters for English. He never intended to mail any of them, did you, dear?
Well, look, Mother.
It's as clear as day, Sam.
Then why did Doris Townsend's mother have to get so upset over a composition?
That's what I'd like to know.
And that's exactly what I'd like to know. Sam, I'm going to the phone and tell her.
Give her my regard.
Hey, Henry! Henry!
Here's your composition, Henry.
Am I interrupting a lecture?
You're not interrupting anything, Homer. Only, Henry, next time see to it that you get more than a C+.
Yes, Father.
Henry, you know that letter Eleanor handed back to you?
Yeah?
Well, that isn't one of your letters.
Well, whose is it?
It's a letter she wrote to the guy in Arizona.
From her? She wrote it to him?
Do you mind if I see what it says?
Now, wait, Homer. That letter wasn't meant to be read.
Well, what do you mean it wasn't? It isn't even sealed. She says...
Now, listen, Homer, give that to me.
She says...
Homer, let me see that.
Oh, boy.
Homer, is she engaged to him?
Oh, boy.
Are you reading it all, Homer?
Listen to what she says.
I don't want to hear it.
Listen. I wish you could meet Henry Aldrich, one of the nicest, sweetest boys I've ever known.
Who, me?
Henry, you're one of the nicest, sweetest boys she's ever known.
Now, listen, Homer, Well, gee whiz, can you imagine? Mother, I'm sure I don't feel well enough to go to school today.
But, Henry, you'll only miss some very important work.
No, I won't, Mother. I won't miss a thing. All we're going to do today is read our English compositions in front of the class. And I never felt so low in my life.
The Aldrich Family is transcribed as written by Clifford Goldsmith. Henry is played by Bobby-Ellis and Homer by Jack Grimes. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are House Jameson and Barbara Robbins. Your announcer is Dick Dudley. Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with the Aldrich Family.
Good night, everybody.
January 25th, 1953, The Aldrich Family on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We close out this hour of classic radio theater with Wyatt Cox with some satire. Bob and Ray in their CBS show from January 25th, 1960.
And now look out here. Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding present Hold On, the CBS Radio Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week here at Bob and Ray headquarters in New York as we greet you with a fine program, one that we've spent the better part of 2 or 3 days working on.
Polishing and grinding into shape for actual presentation on the air.
Pointing up, getting all of the dead wood out of, and...
taking all the sharp edges off of.
Right, making real dull. And we think the studio audience is going to have a chance for some fun a little bit later because we'll be chatting with them. And we are going to have some guests. Is that?
It sure is. Kirby Ayres, the strolling accordionist. Here at CBS.
Curb, can you talk while you're playing that thing? I never knew.
Yeah, I can't eat, though, while I'm playing it.
What have you been doing lately? Still wandering the corridors here? Or?
I did a short hit stop at the Pentagon. I was strolling around there for morale.
That's so?
Yes.
How'd it go over?
Well, I wanted in on a missile meeting, and...
Oh, yeah, well...
Boy, they had to scrape them off the ceiling.
I should imagine.
So,
now you're back here.
I got a Section 10, and here I am.
Okay, well, I hope you'll be keeping up the good work with the executive offices, the sales department, as you stroll through the corridors.
Sales promotion department.
Right, and the publicity department, and the public relations department.
That's it. Oh, every apartment you can think of. Every apartment.
Department.
Oh, is that how you say that?
Yes.
Well, I'll see you anyway.
Okay, Kirby. Thanks very much. Kirby Ayres, ladies and gentlemen.
And now Wally Ballew is at International Airport out in Long Island, where he's about to interview somebody live and on tape. So come in, please. Wally Ballew. Wait a minute. Engineer's nodding.
What's the matter?
He hasn't made contact with him yet.
Well, it's only out to Idlewild. It's what?
Well, I don't care where he is. You have to have contact. There they are. Go ahead.
Gubs like that, what do you expect? Oh, this is radio's Wally Ballew, greeting you from the airport where arrivals of transoceanic airplanes are a commonplace thing. One has just arrived now, and I want to chat with a couple of the passengers. A lady, very attractive lady, has caught my eye over here to the outer rim of the crowd. Ma'am?
Yes?
I wonder if you've just landed here from overseas.
That's right, I just arrived from Amsterdam. I have hidden about my person $4 million worth of diamonds.
I see that you are a professional smuggler, is that...
That's right, I get a percentage of the amount I take in.
I've always wondered about the cute ways in which smugglers manage to bring in contraband material like that. Could you tell us?
Oh, there are many ways. For instance, on this trip, I'm using hollow shoe heels, and I have a drop-away bottom in the bag.
Uh-huh.
And this is a fake nose I got.
And,
loaded with diamonds.
Is that so?
If I could sneeze on you like that song says, you'd be a millionaire.
Yes, sir. Well, it's rather difficult, of course, to go into a line of work like this. You must have had to spend quite a while making contacts, both in foreign countries and here at home.
Yes, on both sides. I have to establish contacts. It's something that you can't go to school to learn. It's only through experience. You have to be able to get wind of a copper almost instinctively. There's a lot to learn, but there's a good deal of satisfaction in
I should imagine.
You can sit at home at night knowing that you've done a job well.
Yeah. Have you ever had any close calls, any times when you thought you were going to be arrested?
I thought this time I might be caught because my heel caught in one of those gratings over the hot air system.
And
you know, these narrow heels that we're wearing.
Yes.
Well, I got stuck there, and a nice customs man came over and helped me out.
Didn't break the heel or anything.
No.
Luckily for you.
He never noticed at all. Although it took two men really to lift my shoe. It's that heavy with diamonds.
I see. Must be kind of difficult to walk.
But he didn't notice, yeah.
Well, good luck to you. And where will you be going from here? To meet the fence and get rid of everything?
Yes, I go from here by cab to a fence in New York City. Then from there I go out to San Francisco. And from there I'm going to the Far East to do some more smuggling. So I'll be busy now until my vacation in August.
What's that, engineer? Oh, there are two gentlemen over there are beckoning to you, ma'am. I think they just want to say hello.
Oh, coming.
And there she goes across the lobby here at the airport and is having quite a serious discussion with the two gentlemen who, I wonder, sir, you were one of the two who was talking with the lady?
Yes.
I'm Wally Ballew on the radio.
I'd like to have you come along, too, Ballew.
Fine.
And nothing serious. We don't have anything on you.
No.
Just want you to more or less, confirm what we heard on the radio.
Yes.
Okay.
Always glad to do my bit.
All right.
And now this is
Hand it off, buddy.
radio's Wally Ballew, returning it to our studios. Hope she didn't slip anything into Wally's pocket, because that could get him into some trouble, huh?
Well, time now to talk about, I guess, United States savings bonds.
We have a story of a middle-aged Pennsylvania couple whose names will be withheld to protect the innocent and us, although it could be Mr. and Mrs. Seymour Metcalf.
Or Vernon and Fanny Culpepper, but that's very unlikely.
And as it happened, they'd been saving a considerable amount of money in United States savings bonds. They were planning to buy a praline stand in St. Petersburg, Florida, on their savings when they retired.
However, when the time came, he took the money and ran off to Acapulco with a blonde lady, smuggler.
Now remember, whatever you're saving for, the sure way is with United States savings bonds.
Now, this unsolicited public service message on behalf of the U.S. Treasury Department has come to you through simple courtesy on our part. Now, as a sustaining feature of the Bob and Ray Show, we bring you another episode of One Fella's Family. Today's episode, entitled Foggy Day at the Seawall, is taken from Book IX, Chapter VI, page 1. It's mid-morning as we look in on the family. Father and Mother are standing looking out the kitchen window. Father saying,
Fanny? Perhaps it would be a good day to take a stroll down by the seawall.
So foggy,
Well, I always like to walk in the fog.
Yes, there's something about the fog that it's mysterious.
What?
Mysterious and nice.
Why don't you slip on your trench coat and we'll walk down the path?
All right, you hold it for me. There we are.
All right. Right down this way. It is foggy.
Careful, I can hardly see my
Careful,
nose
there
in front of my face.
3 steps there. Yes. Here we are. Now it's a clear path to the seawall.
Well, except for the fog.
Yeah.
I often wondered how a sea captain feels out in a deep fog, thick fog. Oh, that's a sick sound, too. I mean, that's...
Yes, I've often wondered how ships can navigate in such fog as this. Wouldn't be good for a little boat to...
Well, they have radar now, you know.
Yeah. Hey, you hear anything?
Certainly no big boat. That boat would not have radar.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom and Dad!
It sounds like Jack in his runabout.
Oh, it is. Out in this fog. Oh,
Jack, my boy.
I can't hear you. He's gone way out.
What's he doing on a day like this?
Going around in circles, but that's been his life history anyway. Going around in circles since he learned to walk.
Jack?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Bring your runabout in this moment.
Can't hear you with that motor going, Pa.
No, I guess he can't. Well, perhaps the fog will lift and he'll be able to see where the dock is. I don't like to have him out there, though.
He's been out for how long? Was he in the house last night, or has he been going around all night?
I think he was there this morning, yes.
He should be due back in. Maybe he's coming in now. Hope so. Come in now, Jack. It's too far.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, he's coming in
now.
Jack.
He's
coming in now.
He's landed now.
Yes.
Jack, you'd better get up to the house and get some warm clothes.
That's what happens on a foggy day at the seawall.
You've been listening to One Fella's Family, brought to you as a sustaining feature on the Bob and Ray Show. Today's episode, entitled Foggy Day at the Seawall, was taken from Book IX, Chapter VI, page 1. One Fella's Family is written and produced by T. Wilson Messy. This is a Messy production.
Ray, we have just about 2 minutes now.
I know, Bob. I know what you're going to say. You're going out the audience.
Right.
But first, I think you should inform them that when they rise to pose their question, to give their name and possibly their affiliation if they're with a press association or something like that.
Okay, I'll do that. Right. Let me just step down the steps here from the stage and right to the front row. And this gentleman here, would you give me your name?
Him.
No, I'll pick.
Him. Go ahead,
I'm going to pick him.
Him.
This fellow right here. Okay. Could I have your name and affiliation, please?
Yes, my name is Alan Bunshaft. I'm with the Finley Quality
Oh,
Network.
now wait. I can't talk to you, sir.
I'd like to ask this question.
We've had too much of
bothered
that.
me quite a while. If you say something on the air that shouldn't be said, can you call the transmitter and have them stop it before it goes up the tower?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the speed of sound, sir, and I don't want to get too technical for you because I don't think you'd follow me.
Well, we at the Finley Quality Network
never mind
often
that,
wondered about this, and we
I
didn't
know.
know who to talk with.
No, it's a very simple
head
problem.
engineer at Finley Quality Network told me that he wasn't
Well,
really
I'll try
up
to
on
answer
that.
the question for you if you just stop throwing that name in. The speed of sound is quite a bit overrated. If we say something we want to go on the air, we merely pick up this phone here. We call master control in through that window. We say, hey, Joe, will you catch that last thing that went out? And we tell him what it is. I see he has a direct line to the
All right, you've
transmitter.
answered him. How about some
By the
others
time-
before you say your
All
time
right.
has run out?
Okay, you have one quick question
Helen
there.
Smith of the Finley Quality Network.
Oh, look, what have we got for an audience here?
I would like to ask you this. What's a good way to cook cabbage without having the odor of cabbage bother you?
Well, I don't know. Do you have the answer?
Clothespin over your nose.
Thanks very much, and give our best.
We have that at Finley Quality Network
yeah, all
all
right.
the time.
Well, back on stage now for our final thing.
That's right, and we'll be back to say toodle-doo in just 10 seconds. Do you say it, Bob?
Toodle-doo.
Thank you. Till tomorrow, this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumbs.
January 25th, 1960, Bob and Ray on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, and that's what you search for when you're looking for our podcasts. Anywhere podcasts are served, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, okay? And you can also find that information at our webpage, classicradio.stream. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thank this station. Support their advertisers, please. And tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the radio dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station.